Tonight on Western Sports Roundup, we are going to get to talk to that man right there, Tilden Hooper, on his second championship at the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo, and that was a pretty cool horse he was on too. He's going to tell us more about his victory in the big payday here today.
And another Texan at the top of the leaderboard. That man right there, 4 trips to Wrangler National Finals Rodeo, Kincade Henry, in his world-famous Mario. Do it again, but walk away with their first title at the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo. We'll tell you all about that and even talk to the man.
And then we're going to take a look at the 605 of South Dakota, Rodeo Rapid City. The Sutton family celebrating 100 years in Rapid City. We'll tell you about their champions here today.
Let's go! Jake, I see 8 seconds on the clock on the wall.
Jake Lockwood into his hand. I told you he was the reigning champion. Can he do it again? 89 points on the ride.
Well, happy Monday, everybody, and welcome. You are watching Western Sports Roundup. I'm Corey Keith, standing alongside Elise Sutherland. Elise, it's good to see you and have you in the studio with us today.
It's really good to be here and getting things kicked off this week in a really big way across the board, getting you to bring all of the good things across the sport of rodeo and the Western way of life. But so much has happened over the last weekend. Some good, some bad, some not so great, but also some really wonderful things, and I'm just glad to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. But of course, our Kubota top story, kind of some sad news today. A great bucking horse by the name of Damaged Goods from Championship Rodeo has passed away due to a colic issue. That horse actually underwent surgery. She put up a good fight for a little while and just couldn't hang on, but that horse has been to the NFR 6 different times, and we are sure going to miss her.
6 times across the saddle bronc riding and the bareback riding. She has no quit. She never did. And, you know, Will O'Connell, that's the general manager of Championship, said she may not have been the best horse at every rodeo, but she was the best every time she went out. It didn't matter the time, the place, where it was in the afternoon, and he's saying that right here. It didn't matter what day, what time, whether it was an afternoon perf or a night performance. He went on to say, if we were in Raleigh, North Carolina, or Salt Lake City, she showed up to give everybody a chance every time they got on her. She was rider friendly, very kind, and a lot of try right down to the very end. But one of the things I've noticed the most is so many people around the sport of rodeo truly have rallied around Championship Pro Rodeo, Dusta and Will O'Connell right now through this trying time, and we're keeping up with the updates of this incredible horse because they're one of our own.
Well, you know, and I think that's one thing that we forget about of the animal athletes that we care for each and every single day. They kind of become our friends as we haul them up and down the road, you know.
Absolutely.
And it's going to be a little different season for Championship Pro Rodeo, but like Elise just said, thoughts and prayers go to their great family as they mourn the loss of a great bucking horse. But we go from a bucking horse to a barrel racing horse, which leads us in to our unbeatable feeds moment of the week. And wouldn't you know that Kassie Mowry is a part of it?
Woo. Kassie Mowry and Jarvis talk about horses with a lot of heart, walking away with the new arena record and a title. But here's the thing, at 16:04, watching that it already got tied earlier on this week as well, but Kassie just does what Kassie does best, regardless of the horse. She's an athlete, but there's just something about Jarvis when he gets the chance to make a run at a rodeo. He was so missed at the Wrangler National Finals, but back in action and saying to everyone, I'm here and ready to win.
Yeah, you know, she won 2 of the Texas Swing Rodeos a season ago. Fort Worth was not one of them, but now she adds that to the resume, so I can only think or ponder what she might do next as San Antonio starts this week. Of course, she had a lot of success there a season ago. The arena record, though, she set at Fort Worth has to be maybe the greatest moment of the 2026 season thus far. It happened during the final.
I agree, and I'm excited to see how this is going to stand the test of time because it was since 2022 that we saw the previous arena record, but $25,000, $25,500 to catapult in the world standings. We're a long way from September, but watching what Kassie Mowry is already doing, we've seen what she's done a season ago, and we're already off to a big start in a big way.
Yeah, well, that is our Unbeatable Feeds moment. So thank you to Unbeatable Feeds for for bringing that to us here today on Western Sports Roundup. We have a lot more unbeatable moments, though, as we are looking at champions of Fort Worth. Just down the road at Dickey's Arena, it's hard to believe that the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo is already concluded and behind us. But let's take a look at the bareback riding and see what happened. And it kicked off with a veteran, you might say, the 38-year-old by the name of Tilden Hooper. He had the best horse, in my opinion, of the draw, and I think Tilden might have agreed with that answer. 92 points on Calgary Stampede's Disco Party.
What an incredible horse to get on and have a chance. $1.2 million in added money at the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo. 18 performances, a month long of excitement. Because when it comes down to it, though, with how legendary and historic this is, I mean, it is saying this thing is legendary. Tilden Hooper added another one to the list this weekend. But in this arena, in this rodeo, with a horse like that, you know you have one to win it on. But so many great people that were out in this performance, so many great animal athletes. It was exciting to watch till the bitter end because Jake Lees came out so early on in the performance and set the bar extremely high. We're watching Wasey Shala right now, what he did at the NFR last year in the bareback riding. He wants to get back in the game again. And Cole Reiner, I always like to see his name on the top of the list.
Yeah, there's the top four guys from your Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo. Of course, Tilden Hooper, the man of the hour. $27,400 is what he accumulated during his time here in Fort Worth, Texas. Now we'll go to steer wrestling, and it was a tie in the Bulldog and Racer. I think Justin McKee called them steer flippers last week, but that's besides the point. Trison Calavaya, he throws one down in 3.8 seconds. That is a Hawaii Cowboy who is a Prairie Circuit finalist and a proud graduate of Northwestern Oklahoma State University. And speaking of the former Ranger from Alva, Oklahoma, one of his former teammates ties with him at Fort Worth as well. He ties one at 3A. I am talking about Bridger Anderson.
We watched Tristan come in here and put down a really great run. You know he was excited. That's history being made with the first Hawaiian descent to walk away with this title. But then Bridger Anderson, they call him baby boy, but he is a man that is on a mission when it comes to the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo. When he backs in the box, here's the thing about Bridger. He's cool, he's calm, he's consistent, and he is ready to win. He knew what he had to do. It was tie it or beat it, and he might as well just partner up for the win with a good friend of his, too.
Yeah, well, if that beard gets any longer, it's going to be a steer wrestling dynasty, not a dynasty anymore.
And the thing is, getting to ride Whiskers since high school, this horse is truly an incredible one. Opening with a 3.6 and then a 4 flat in the rounds 1 and 2, a 4-1 to get him to the finals round, and then this 3-8. There's a look at everyone that was able to make a lot of money here. And then Bridger obviously walking with just a little bit more money from the rodeo.
Yeah, had a little bit better luck in those go rounds. $23,400 for him. Calavaya $20,000 and Justin Schaefer $16,000. Tanner Bruner $9,000. It's a pretty big payday if you are a steer wrestler. But speaking of a huge payday, there was a breakaway roper who kind of got to be a part of history. You know, her dad, Jimmy, won the all-around title and tie-down roping back in the day. Jill Tanner wins the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo with a 2-second run, and it was fabulous.
It really was, and obviously no stranger to winning on some of the biggest stages right here in Texas, formerly having won the American back in the day. But Jill, something I've really enjoyed watching, the way she was able to talk with Katie after each of these wins she's had. She keeps things so calm. She's so humble. But when she backs in the box and you look at the dynamite that she throws at these calves to catch, she is so consistent and so strong, and that's a really great way to see things out, and especially at a rodeo like this one. Shelby Beaujolais-Medjed always calm and ready to run. Staley King and Braylee Shepard round out that top 4 money earners in the breakaway roping. You guys, it was fast and there were some mistakes made, but you can't complain when you walk away with $27,000.
Yeah, and I'll be anxious to see how Shelby Beaujolais-Medjed bounces back. She is it's her last rodeo for a little bit. She says she's going to be back in July after the baby's here. She's got a little bit of money won, trying to head back to another appearance at the national finals. But Jill Tanner at $27,000 is definitely going to help her maybe make her first national finals. And did I mention she came out of the wild card too, so she had to go about it a little bit different. Now Peyton Bray, this was an honor to win Billy and Pam Minnick's all-around championship. Remember, we had them on the here a few weeks ago talking about what they wanted to do to elevate the sport of rodeo, to give back to a community that has done so much for them. So congratulations to Peyton Bray on the all-around championship.
They give back so much, and this rodeo means a lot to the both of them as long as they have been involved. $10,000 in a bonus right there. But Peyton, with this title, is proving to be a force to be reckoned with in the all-around world standings. This is a really great start for that. I know that's something that he has been after for a while, and to get $10,000 closer at a rodeo like this one proves he's got it capable.
Yeah, tie down and team roping is what he competed in. But hey, stick around. We're not done telling you about all the great champions for the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo. We've got more of them. We'll tell you more about it here on Western Sports Roundup.
We're also going to talk to some of those champions later. Tilden Hooper in the Bareback Riding, he had a lot to say about this very special horse. Stay with us. You're watching Western Sports Roundup.
Western Sports Roundup is brought to you by Resistol, the official hat of the PRCA, and Cowboys everywhere.
Roll denim. Live boldly. Live in rock and roll denim.
Here, Corbin. Oh, they're long ways down the arena, but 2. We needed that. Now we got something to run at. He ends up with a 7 and 5. Oh, I got another main shaker. Let it shake, let it rattle, let it roll. He rode the unridden Fort Worth. What do you got for TK?
Well, that was the electrifying voices of Bob Tallman and Garrett Urigan taking you through championship night of the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo as we continue to talk about all of the champions that were just down the road in Dickey's Arena. A pair of team ropers is where we'll start first, and header coming to us out of Iowa. And of course, this is a great win for a young, fresh team as Corbin Culley and his partner Trent Vaught on the heel end. What a victory for them, 5.4. Trenton is a 2024 Great Lakes Circuit champion. These guys moved to the #1 spot in the world standings because of this run right here. So they better take advantage of it. They got a long road to the NFR, but the way these guys are roping this week, they have got a chance to advance to the dream, make their dreams come true.
The team roping got a little messy when you guys were watching, if you were able to see what was going on, but you just had to be calm, cool, and collected. It's kind of the name of the game. Jake Clay and Will Woodfin bringing in second, Mason Appleton and Sid Sporer, and then James Arviso and Rance Doyle in the #4 position. Plenty of money, but that $24,000, $900 for the #1 position for these team ropers is a great way to start. I actually got the chance to watch the short round at a team roping with my husband this weekend. Can you imagine watching the screen at a team roping when the team roping comes on at Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo? Whoa, those guys were crowded around there, and it was fun to watch, and I bet it was even more fun to be there and experience just how great it was, because when we talk about teams, there wasn't a team in the saddle bronc riding, but there was a pair of champions.
Yeah, there was. And there were some great bucking horses, too. Might be some of the best bucking horses we've seen so far this season. Darcy Riddell got a piece of one. That's J-Bar J's Shady Jacket, and wouldn't you know, it was a 91-point ride. That is a young man that I'm excited about this season. You know, the last couple of years, he's finished just outside the top 35 in the world, and now he's #10 in the world because of that ride right there on National Finals bucking horse. Maybe the biggest moment of his career
Oh yeah,
so far.
Darcy Rattle goes by Radical sometimes, and he certainly let him out that night. Shady Jacket, if you look at the list of horses that we saw, the list of athletes, it just kept getting better. But you got to make sure you got to keep your eyes up when you get off that bucking horse, because we needed to keep him on his feet, hitting into the pickup man right there. But Rusty Wright also claiming the title with the 91 points. Calgary Stampede's Dandy Delight. It just kept getting better when you watch this round. You guys, this is going to be an exciting one to watch this year. Rusty Wright has had so many good things happening to him in the last year or so, and he just keeps getting better. The confidence boost that he had to have gotten from this opportunity. He's a newlywed, he's excited, and he is ready to get back to Las Vegas.
Yeah, I was looking back on some of the history. You know, his dad, Cody, won this rodeo in the year that the closest he'd ever got to winning it. He was second, his dad was first, so now he gets to finally claim that title. Let's take a look at the money earned and how much everybody's walking away with. Of course, Rusty Wright, he is the #1 bronc rider in the world, and of course, when you win $23,500, that will help with that cause. Darcy Riddell right behind him with $22,375, and you see Stetson in there as well. Don't ever count Stetson out. with 17,000, and Damian Brennan had a great weekend as well at $8,233. We'll talk about him a little bit later with another rodeo that we're going to talk about.
That he did. They were tying in their semifinals rounds, Rusty and Darcy, and they're both separate semi-rounds and then getting into this one, so they were just kind of continuing keeping up with that as well. But that was the saddle bronc riding. Let's switch it to the other side of the arena, to the timed events, the tie-down roping. Kincade Henry, we talked about him at the top of the show, that great horse, Mario. Here's something about Kincade Henry. You know it's game on when he knows exactly what he has to do, because it's just a little bit more fun when it keeps getting faster through the round.
Yeah, 7-5. It ties for the fastest run of the rodeo with him and Marty Yates. And what's crazy, Marty Yates was 7-7 in the championship round, so he knew he was going to have to do something special in this moment. And, of course, he left it up to that great horse Mario to do the work for him on this calf. But the hometown, kind of his hometown rodeo, Mount Pleasant, Texas, Fort Worth, it's not that far away. But here's a look at the money won. Kincade Henry gets out of there like a thief in the night, $27,400. Marty Yates with $16,825. Haven Medjid, $13,825, and Zach Youngblood with $9,000. Remember, these tournament-style brackets, it depends on how well you do in the rounds and how you get paid. That's why some of these payouts vary from the number 4 spot to the number 1 spot, because you might not want any money in your go-round, but still got to advance, especially if you were in the bull riding. And that's what we're going to talk about now. So Trey Kimsey, this may be the coolest story. He walked up. Jeff Burtis could not get out of South Dakota. Trey Kimsey was standing there at Dickies Arena just waiting to walk in the secretary's office before the first go-around. He gets in. He rides his bull. He's the only man to do it in his bracket on that night. He won $7,600 and some change. He gets hurt on that ride, sets out the next ride, makes it to the finals, and what does he do? 88.5 for TK. I'm loving this.
Just seems to be the Kimsey way, and I think he got to spend his birthday, so his birthday's in January as well. He spent it with his brother Sage. Maybe he got a little bit of confidence, a little bit of advice from him as well going into this, but really letting it all hang out, getting that leg spurring right there was really fun to watch. Congratulations to Trey. Will Kimsey and Lane Vaughn in the number 2 position, $22,000. They were the only 2 qualified rides that we watched, but that just goes to show when you get into the finals, you have to make every second, every jump, every spur motion count, and that's exactly what those two did and walked away with that pile of money for the year.
Wow, $33,400 for Trey Kimsey. Unbelievable start to his 2026 season. So congratulations to him and a job well done. But hey, we're not done just yet here on Western Sports Roundup. It's Monday. We're just getting going. So stick around with us. We're going to catch up with the best hair in rodeo, Tilden Hooper. He's going to tell us all about it coming up here on Western Sports Roundup.
What do you do? Come on, you're at 5, you're at 6. Did he weaken? No. Do you go on? You betcha. Would you take a re-ride? Maybe. Why would you take a re-ride when they just marked you 92 points?
Oh, there is something special about that ride in slow motion right there. That is Disco Party from the Calgary Stampede, and that is Tilden Hooper doing big things in Fort Worth, 92 points in the final round. And Tilden Hooper joins us right now. And Tilden, it's good to have you on our show today. Congratulations. I'm going to go ahead and jump right in and ask the question because Bob Tallman was on fire right there, and I know he just retired. And I know Bob's pretty special to you. How was it to have him taking you through that ride, that 8 seconds?
Man, it was a dream come true. When I woke up that morning and read on Facebook that was going to be Bob's last performance, I wanted to win anyway, but I dang sure wanted to win after that. And I decided no matter what happened, I was just going to lay it all out there and have a good time and enjoy being there and be thankful to be there and be a part of that moment.
And you've had moments like this before, winning Fort Worth, winning the shootout round, but there was just something special about this year alongside Bob as well. But with the other athletes that you had in the bunch and all of the great horses, was there something about being on the back of the buck and shoots before you nodded your head that you really took a chance to take it all in?
I would have if I would have been on the back of the buck and shoots, but if you noticed, I was 4th out and there was 3 in front of me. on that same side. So I was back there pulling in the alleyway and trying to get ready. So soon I didn't see any of the bareback riding. I know it was a great bareback riding. I know there's a lot of great guys and a lot of great horses, and I'll have to go back on the Cowboy channel and watch it, I guess.
Well, it was spectacular to say the least. But Tilden, tell us about Disco Party. I know that's bareback rider's dream come true right there, and especially in the finals at Fort Worth.
Yeah, absolutely. Whenever I woke up that morning and saw the draw, I knew I probably had the one everybody else wanted. When that happens, you gotta take advantage of it. But nothing's ever set in stone. You never know with that many great horses and that many great riders. Had a good shot to have a chance at first and a real good shot to have some fun. So I was pretty excited.
What do you think it is about this horse that makes this great horse so fun for you guys to get on?
Whenever you see them jumping 4 or 5 foot up in the air and hanging in there like that, it gives us all the time in the world to get our feet going, get them coming up to our rig and handle, get some exposure. That's bareback rider deluxe right there. You see her front end just keeps bouncing right up there in the air. She hits with her legs curled up, her head's bouncing. She sends your feet, gives you a pile of time to get them set. Any horse that does that is gonna be pretty fun to ride.
Being involved in this industry as long as you have and all of the opportunities you've had from your business outside of the arena to all the business you do inside of it, you also have a great family beside you too. How much better does it make a lot of these wins knowing that you've got a great family behind you as well?
100% better. To be honest, that's the main reason I still do this. My kids are really into it and they enjoy getting to go to the rodeo and watch me ride and go to the hospitality and hang out with the other kids. And, if that changes, this whole deal might change. But right now, these guys are having fun. I'm having fun, and it's such a blessing to get to bring them with me and for them to get to see this, and not just me, but to get to see rodeo athletes in general. Guys go out riding bucking horses every day like it's no big deal, and to some people that seems impossible, and to my kids that's going to seem pretty normal, and I'm excited that that's the case.
Tilden, I know one thing I always look forward to every year, Ellensburg. The locker room is right underneath, just behind the buck and chutes. That's where I keep my backpack. And when I walk in there, there's something about when you show up. You light up that entire locker room. How have you been able to keep your positivity like that through your entire career?
I don't know. My whole career has been. I would have guessed this is what I was going to do, and once I got into this, I knew exactly this is what I wanted to do. To still be getting to do it, and to have had the setbacks or injuries or whatever you want to call them, and think it's been over a few times anymore. When you see me out here, it's just icing on the cake. So I dang sure don't take it for granted. And there's a lot of good guys out there and fun group of guys, and that's just that's my sweet spot. Whenever I get back there and get around the boys and get to having a good time, that's fun stuff.
Yeah, you guys know how to have a good time in there. I can verify that in the locker room. It's you guys are always cutting it up. But hey, 2023, you talked about injuries. At 2023, we didn't get to see you. You were sidelined for that neck injury. It has to feel good to be back in action, full swing. It's like a Tilden Hooper we've never seen before.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Every other year, so whenever I sit out for a year and come back, that's what we always say is it's, good to be back, and it's a new Tilden Hooper or whatever. But same Tilden Hooper. I just try to get better every time I ride, and hopefully it's still working.
Is that something that you do at the end of each year? I mean, with a decade going to the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo, you obviously know what it takes to get there, but do you kind of still sit down and take mental notes of how you've been riding, how you've been entering? What are the goals that you set when you start each new season?
Well, same as everybody else, I want to win first, and I haven't done that yet. So I figure until I get that done, I've still got quite a bit to learn. And so I come home and I try to figure it out. Whatever it is that didn't work for me, I try to change it and get better. I watch the guys around me, and somebody else is doing something that I think would work better than what I'm doing. I'm not too proud to make a change and try to get better. I enjoy the work that it takes to be good at this still, and like I said, my family loves this. I still love it. I love the work that goes into it, and until that changes, we can keep having a good time, rearing back, trying to go for first.
I like that you brought up still enjoying the work that goes into it, because that's just something that we seem to keep hearing with athletes like you that are veterans of the sport. Part of going back to the practice pen, part of going back to the spur board, watching game tape, going back over those things is truly kind of the excitement behind it. Do you think that's part of the competitive edge, and also watching these other athletes that are coming up to the pipeline as well? Is that what also keeps you excited?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think the competition is as stiff as it's ever been right now. And so if you're going to win, you better be back at home working on it and putting the work, because there's 20, 30 other guys that are. And I don't know if, we talk a lot about my age and everything, but I don't, age is just a number. And as long as I'm coming out here, I'm trying to be, I want to be the best, and whether I'm 38 or 28, that takes a certain amount of work. I feel like the rent goes up every year, and as of today, I'm still willing to pay it, and I still enjoy what it takes to pay it. And so it's a fun spot to be right now, because very little pressure to prove anything, and I still feel like I'm one of the best guys to do it, and I enjoy what it takes to stay there and continue getting better. And the horses are great, the competition's great, the money's getting really good. I mean, it's a fun time to be a bareback rider.
Almost 2 decades a part of professional rodeo, and I say that with all respect, Tilden. What is something that you have seen as the most positive change in your career?
I like to see these young guys coming up and how they approach the sport. If I had to come back at 18 or 19 and do the things that I did then, the guys to compete against now, I don't know that I'd have the same results. It's these guys, that's all they think about. It's all they do all day long. They put the work in. They don't overdo it afterwards. They don't over party. They don't, they get some rest. They show up every morning and go to the gym, do whatever they got to do. They're smart guys. It's a fun time to be around. And not that, there's been a lot of great guys throughout my career, but for some reason, just the last few years, these guys that have been around, it's really fun. And they push me to be better, and I'm excited to still have that feeling.
I think it has to be a nod to them watching you when they were coming up as well, and it's got to feel cool to put their gear bags down next to you. But you're proven to still be the best, walking away with the win at Fort Worth Stockstone Rodeo in the bareback riding. Again, Tilden, I know you're a busy man. Congratulations, and thanks for being here on Western Sports Roundup.
Absolutely. Thank y'all for having me. Enjoyed visiting.
From one champion of the Fort Worth Stockstone Rodeo to the next.
Easily, every time he nods, he can do it. Another guy that kept his calf standing, had a little more trouble with the flank, though. No trouble with the tie. He ends up with a 7 and 5.
No trouble at all for the 4-time Wrangler National Finals Rodeo qualifier, and now Fort Worth Stockstone Rodeo champion. As we welcome you back into Western Sports Roundup, Kincade Henry is off to a blasting start, and especially here at Fort Worth, and we get the chance to talk with the champion right now. Kincade Henry, thanks for being here.
Yes, ma'am. I appreciate y'all having me.
We're excited to have you. You credit a lot of your wins so far to that great horse, Mario, but things really had to connect, and especially after what happened last year in a broken barrier to win it all, you came back with vengeance, didn't you?
Yes, ma'am, for sure. It's always good to get the year started off good and hot, and it's been an awesome month of rodeoing, and we're just getting started. I'm excited to get back in the practice pen this week, get back at it, and then next week we it starts right back. So it's very exciting.
So, hey, Kincade, I want to ask you about that horse again. I know you've had that horse since 2021. How's that horse changed your approach to what you do?
It's just having trust in him, knowing he's just going to do his job. He's just so consistent, and this is me not doing my job right here. Steve Slack don't like that right there. You're not supposed to mistreat good cattle, but he's just very, very consistent, and it's just like the little things, like in the semifinals of Fort Worth. He didn't pull very much. He actually left the rope laying on the ground. And then in the short round, whenever I really needed him to work because I didn't flank very good, he took all the slack out of the rope, and that's the only reason I was able to win Fort Worth. Like right here, he didn't work very good. He left it on the ground, but on that calf, it was like, it's almost like he knows. On that calf, it didn't matter. It almost helped me. And then in the short round, whenever I misflanked that calf, he really needed to be getting back, and that's what he was doing. He's a special horse, and I'm very blessed to have him.
He truly is so special, that's for sure. When it comes to things like that, I mean, these horses have to read these cattle as much as you do, but what did you do between the semifinals and that final run? Was there anything that you took him in the arena and worked on or really made sure that you had set, or do you truly think it was just the moment that had him ready and set up for that $20,000 win?
Yes, ma'am. I definitely had him probably more awake for the finals right there. I knew he didn't work very good in the semifinals, and my calf in the short round, he wasn't strong, but by any means, but he was a lot stronger than the one I ran in the semifinals. So I definitely had him more on edge, I guess.
This, Kincade, this could technically be your hometown rodeo in a sense. I know Mount Pleasant, Texas has a rodeo, but this one's a pretty good one. You've been in this situation before in this championship round, 3 different occasions. I know last year you were the first man out in the finals, broke the barrier, but this year was a little bit different. You were second to last to rope, Haven Medja to follow. You knew you had to be 7-5. Tell us about that situation change.
Yeah, you know, it's a lot better whenever things get started off hot. Like in the semifinals the night before, I was maybe 6th out or something. And whenever I roped, I shouldn't have ever done this. I mean, it worked out, but I looked at the big screen. I'm like, I got to be 12 seconds right here. Like, that's not very fun. Like, it's a lot better if you're at the end and like, I think somebody was 8-5, then they were 8-3, then they were 7-7. So it was like, okay, thank you. Like now I can just cut loose. There's nothing to think about, nothing I have to do. You know, it's just going at them. And that style of roping is, for me, I like it better whenever I can just cut loose and go at them.
So with you being second to last, you kind of knew what you needed to be. It almost gives you a little edge when you're backing in. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, for sure. And like, if you have to be 7-6 to win Fort Worth, you know, you don't have anything to lose. You're just going to go at them. If it was an easy round and I had to be 8-9 to win Fort Worth, I'd have probably been a lot more nervous backing in the box. So, yeah, I mean, it was awesome. It was a great round of calf roping, and I was just excited to come out on top.
Some really great rounds you put together here for $27,400. But when we started the interview, you mentioned having to get back in the practice pen just a little bit. But for someone that's been to the NFR as many times as you have on a horse that's a veteran of the sport, you're also a veteran. What does someone like you work on when it comes to bearing down and really kind of getting your mind right and things? What are the things that you focus on when you back in the box in the practice pen?
You know, it changes week to week. The main thing this week is flanking and tying. Like, I feel like that's what I do so good, and I really didn't do a great job at Fort Worth. I misstrung a calf in my set, and then I didn't flank great in the short round. I mean, it all worked out. I'm not complaining by any means, but I am excited to get back to the practice pen this week and get ready for the next couple rodeos.
I really like that you brought that up as well, though, in talking about getting in the practice pen, but with someone with as much success as you have had, that really says a lot about you as a competitor. Do you think that kind of keeps your competitive edge in winning ways by staying humble and knowing you still have things to work on, even if you walk away with the win?
Oh, for sure. You know, I mean, it's a long ways to September. We're just getting started. So by no means am I relaxing or enjoying the weeks in between the rodeos. You know, it's a long year. Every year's like that. You have ups, you have downs. So, you know, that's the cool thing about the winter is in between the rodeos, you get to come home, work on some things, whether you're winning or you're not winning. It's awesome just to come home and practice. You know, I think I look forward to working on this event as much as I do, like getting to the rodeo and winning at the event. Like, it's fun for me to figure out how to get better, and I like roping in the practice pen.
Hey, so this may be a dumb question to ask the champion of the tournament style format rodeo, but I'm going to bring it up anyway. I want to know, what do you guys think about these tournaments? I know I feel like I ask this question a lot of times, like just behind the scenes, and everyone has a little bit different answer, but Kincade, what's your thoughts on the tournament style formats?
Yeah, you know, whenever you're winning, it's awesome. Whenever you're not, it's not. But, you know, it takes a lot of the thinking out, because every time it's a one-header. Whenever you get to the semifinals and stuff like that, you might have to think a little bit. But for the most part, it's a one-header every time. So you have to draw good, and then after that, at the end of the day, it's just calf roping. It don't matter if you're at a one-header, a three-header, or whatever. At the end of the day, it's calf roping, and yeah, that's what I think.
There's a lot of rodeos left to get to, though, and like you said, it's a long way to September, and we're just getting started. But do you have a strategy for how you attack this Texas swing we're in the middle of right now? Obviously, we're off to a great start, but for the rest of it, how do you plan on keeping this ball rolling?
You know, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm going to keep riding that blue roan horse right there, and hopefully keep drawing great calves. And, I'm very excited for how it started off with Odessa and Fort Worth. And yeah, I'm just excited to keep going and keep entering.
Well, I'll say I'm excited for you. I know the last couple of years finishing inside the top 5. I know you want a gold buckle before it's all said and done, and I think you got all the talents and capabilities of getting one. So maybe 2026, Kincade, this could be your year.
Yes, sir, for sure. That's the plan. You know, like I said, it's a long ways from all that. I'm gonna keep my head down, and I'm gonna just keep roping.
Well, you just keep roping and you keep doing what you're doing, and we're going to keep cheering you on right here from the studios. But hey, Kincade, thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations on your championship, Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo. Well deserved here in the 2026 season.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Stick around with us. We've got more coming up here on Western Sports Roundup. We will take you out to, up to Rapid City, South Dakota, to the 605. We'll talk about the champions from the Black Hills when we come back. I know everybody shows up to maybe have some fun before the real work starts on the ranch. But speaking of the real work, I don't know if anybody put in more work than this first guy in the bareback riding. Cole Reiner, he really had to earn this one, Elise.
Yes, he did. A true group effort, you guys. Cole Reiner's gear bag did not make the trip up to Rodeo Rapid City for him to get on Game Trail. He's been on this horse before, but a borrowed rigging, a borrowed shirt, spurs, boots, chaps, and vest from Tim O'Connell, a true group effort, like we said. But he's been on Game Trail before. He set the arena record at Gooding, Idaho on this horse. You know when you have an NFR bucking horse like this, an NFR Cowboy, it's gonna be good. But to be able to make a great ride like this, with 87.5 points and all borrowed gear, truly shows what a Cowboy that man is.
Yeah, that a boy, Cole, that a boy. And how about Wind Shack and the steer wrestling 3.7? This is a hard building to throw steers in. First of all, it's not a very long arena, so it's you got to make that decision quick if you're going to make that jump. So right here, Wind Shack gets off there, grabs that steer by the horns, and you know the rest of the story. And that's Flint Rasmussen standing in the background of that video. Just want to throw that out there, but congratulations to Wind Shack. But now, team roping, it was a pair. Pretty nice run.
Yes, it was. Let's talk about these guys right here. Braden Fillmore and Cody Lansing in the team roping with a 5-1. They've been a great pair before. They travel quite a bit together, coming off Denver as well. But this was the winning run right here. We had a tie for second with a 5-4, a 5-5 after that, and a 5-7, and on down through the list. You were just talking about how short this pin is. You've really got to be ready, be on that barrier, and get ready to turn one, and make sure that you've got good chemistry with your partners. We move it to the saddle bronc riding. Damian Damo Brennan, New Frontier Rodeo's Hillbilly Rock for 86.5 big ones.
Yeah, and the Aussie had to do something he's never done before, and that's doing a little thing called the Hillbilly Rock. I don't know if they do that over there across the water, but he had to do it in Rapid City. It was worth 86.5. He is number 17 in the world right now. I know last year he was in the running for a world championship. We'll see if he lets that slip away in the 2026 season. But now as we move to tie-down roping, we had a pair of them and a Well, the South Dakota man is the first one we're going to talk about. Ty Mosier, a great young cowboy. He's had a lot of success. Matter of fact, you can remember him growing up in this arena, going to their high school rodeo that they have on Sunday at the Rodeo Rapid City. The Sutton family's put on for a long time. So for him to be able to finally win this rodeo, this is pretty special. But him and Riley Pruitt share that honor with a 7-6 run each. Of course, Riley, number 17 in the world, son of the world champion Troy Pruitt. Congratulations to both of them.
That's a really cool story to tell. They also had a tie in the second place position as well, but nothing better than that 7-6. And the barrel racing, again, you got to be ready to let it all loose right here and let it all hang out. But to the left barrel first, Heather Crowley, and a 13.19 second run. But the thing is, they were so close. Raylan Juergens in the number 2 position, 13.22 second run. You know it. Every second counts, every 10th, every 100th of a second counts. They were ready.
Yeah, they were ready. And I'll tell you somebody else that's ready to move to Rapid City. I think he's going to buy a house. This is his second time to win this rodeo. But of course, if he bought a house, it wouldn't be that far from his home in Montana. So Jake Lockwood does it again, 89 points on Dirty Money from the Sutton Rodeo. That is a Dallas shot bucking bull, the Broken Arrow S, that they haul those bulls for Suttons all season long. He has got a trailer load of some of the rankest bulls on the planet.
He's got a great family that he's been able to look up to as well, and he's clearly one of them. When he won this rodeo last year with an 87.5, he bested that with this 89 right here. We had the number 2 position in 85.5, but here's a look at all of your champions. And Cole Reiner with the biggest check of the day by just a couple $100, $5,700 later, puts him in the number 11 position in the world, quickly getting a good grasp on maybe heading back to Las Vegas.
Yeah, I wonder if he's gonna pay any dividends to all of his friends that he had to borrow all that gear from. Yeah, I don't know. Shirts and rigging and hats and underwear and socks. I don't know. I'm just making it all up. But hey, stick around with us. We're not done crowning champions. We had more events going on all across the country, including Columbus, Ohio, the Cinch World's Toughest. We'll tell you about the champions on the other side of this timeout.
Here we go. Hey, you're going to like the sounds of this. 87 points for the Cowboy. He is a veteran, and he can ride. He's going to move into the number 2 spot. That is a second and third place split. How about an 87-point ride? He is the new number 2. How about 87.5? Taking the Rip City. 84.5. And the crowd goes wow.
Well, that was Columbus, Ohio, the Cinch World's Toughest. And if you don't know, the Cinch World's Toughest has done some new things this season. They have added more money, and it is hard not to go to one if you are a bareback, saddle bronc, or bull rider. There's a lot of money up for grabs, and there's some guys that got some big time cash at this event.
Yes, there are so much money in so many events. That was the third one for the tour so far, and we've got St. Paul, Minnesota coming at you up. But let's talk a little bit about what happened in Columbus. We're going to kick it off in the bareback riding in the number 2 position. Waylon Bourgeois and Orrin Larson have a tie for 86.5 points for an event like this one. Like you were just talking about, we've been seeing these guys go quite a few places. It's a little slower here when we get into the indoor season, but you have a lot of money on the line to be able to chase up and down the road.
Yeah, Waylon finished number 8 in the world a season to go. I know he'd like to get back to another NFR, but Orrin Larson, I think, is the story because he hasn't been in the NFR the last 2 seasons. He wants to get back and make it 10 trips for him, but it was all about one man. That was Cooper Hemberg, 87 points versus the Teardrop. A spectacular ride for the 21-year-old who's now 15 in the world. You know, he's been living in Marshall, Missouri, been going to school at Missouri Valley College, so I know he's had some pretty good teachers, if you know what I mean. He's even the number 2 rookie in that Resistol rookie race.
It's going to be good watching this year, but from a rookie, let's go to the seasoned veteran. Brody Kress on Bobby Shows from 3 Hills for $4,900 for the second place position and 87 points. A lot of times we can see that many points with someone this talented on such a great horse like this one, and you think, hey, that might be the winner, but no. What did we watch happen at the end of this last season? We watched Lefty Holman crawl to the National Finals Rodeo on the last day of the season, and now, speaking of getting back to Vegas, he's on a mission and is not going to let it get that close this year with a horse like Gretchen from 3 Hills, 87.5 points for the win.
Yeah, it was a good ride. He's number 13 in the world right now. 5 trips to the National Finals for him, and job well done for Lefty Holman. But bull riding, this is where things get interesting. This is where you cannot, you can't set these out. Here's the deal. Cooper James, he's the #1 bull rider in the world because of this ride right here. He was the only man to ride his bull. You see the re-ride flag, they even gave him an option. It's not a good idea to take the option of a re-ride when you're the only man that rides, because when you're the only man, the payday is unbelievable. $20,000 for Cooper James. Yeah, that was a large payday for him and a man that missed the NFR a season ago. So there's the winners from Columbus, Ohio, the Cinch World Toughest. Now it's time for our Veterans Top 3, Clean, Treat, and Heel. And of course, records were meant to be broken. Kassie Mowry and Jarvis step up to the plate and they said, watch this. I'm gonna go around 3 cans extra fast. She wins the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo. Her and Jarvis off to a great start.
We've been talking about a lot of champions at the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo. Tilden Hooper in the Bareback Riding does it again. This great horse disco party right here is a bareback rider's dream to get on, and especially when you've been to the national finals 10 times, it's a great one for him to win on as well. Kincade Henry also walking away with the win in his first at the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo. Those are just a few of the big stories we told you today on the show.
Yeah, a lot of big stories unfolding. Most of them just down the road in Dickey's Arena, down the street from our studios here in Fort Worth, Texas. Thanks for joining us today on Western Sports Roundup. On behalf of Elise, I'm Corey. We'll see you tomorrow night, same time, same place, right here on the Cowboy Channel. Thank you for watching.